Let's make history. What is the greatest, biggest scam ever? Drum roll, please. Income tax. Now, mind you, let me just say, I'm not totally against income tax because whether it's a family, whether it's a fraternal club, a social club, whether it's whatever, any sort of a group or organization, I do think it's a good idea for everyone to contribute to the pot for the whole. However, when you have, and this has never happened to me, but I've worked with people, I have co-workers who've complained that at the end of the year when they did their taxes, they wound up owing money. Like, now, this is beyond my field of expertise, quote unquote. So I don't know the technicalities, I will say that. If anyone out there does know, let me know in the comments. Please enlighten me. However, how is it that you work all year, the government is taxing every single check, and at the end of the year, they're like, oh, we miscalculated, you owe us more. What? Are you serious? And if you try to give them the finger, they can lock you up. Then, people who work multiple jobs, you get every job taxed. I believe, just my opinion, if you have a full-time job or you work a certain amount of hours and you get taxed, anything after that should not be taxed. If you got 3 other jobs, those shouldn't be taxed. You're already getting me for the one job. So I'm in favor of a flat tax, maybe like a 5% tax, right? If I make $10, then 50 cents goes in the pot. Okay, then maybe you could tax my other incomes, my other forms of income, rather. It's 5%, whatever, but a flat tax across the board. But this has gotten way out of control, and I saw a clip online explaining the history of income tax. Check it out.
Stay in history, February 3rd, 1913, first income tax. No president signed it. This is when Taft was in office. So Congress has run out of money, and they had 3 things they needed to do. Number 1, they had to set up federal apparatus in the West. Indian wars were over. People were pouring out west of the Mississippi, and the feds had to set up an infrastructure out there. Number 2, you had to have an army because the gathering World War I stuff was beginning in Europe. They didn't have an army. And number 3, it was an age of rapid expansion. There were millions of people coming from Europe to the United States, and you had to set up a system whereby you could assimilate them. So there was an impact there. Income tax, first one. Before that, the government taxed booze and tobacco and a whole bunch of stuff to get money. Now they need a lot of money. So the first income tax, which happened 112 years ago today, 1% average on people's income. It was went up to 7% for the very wealthy. And that was it. And then it pretty much stayed that way. It went up a little bit, but not crazy. In the roaring 20s, everybody was making money before the Depression. The average income tax there was, 25% in the 1920s. And then, after World War II, it went to 94%. 94%. But nobody paid that because the rich guys figured out how Congress could make their carve-outs, and so they didn't pay it. And then JFK got in, John F. Kennedy got in 60s, have to do this whole thing over again, which he did. And the interest rates came down. The Reagan era was the best time for consumers. He dropped the income tax rate from 50 under Carter to 28%. Trump would like to get it down a little bit more. I don't know whether he will. He's going to have to trade some stuff. But that happened 116 years ago today, the first income tax.
Then you look at where a lot of our taxpayer dollars are going. They're taxing us these extreme amounts of money, and they're spending it on things that don't even benefit the people. People are upset with Trump for hiring Elon Musk to look into this. I mean, why wouldn't you want one of the smartest guys in the world who's running multiple companies to help you with this? So I really don't understand why people are against this, whether you're Democrat or Republican. They're looking into the waste, how they're wasting our tax dollars. Now that goes on to who we elect. The government using our tax dollars to fund a gay comic book in Peru? What? 20 million of our taxpayer dollars going to creating a Sesame Street program in Iraq? Really? And, you know, this whole idea, the structure of how it's laid out, for me, it even stifles productivity and entrepreneurialism, and even just forward movement within the workforce. Because once you hit a certain tax bracket, the taxes are so astronomical, it's like you might as well have stayed in your last position. It's almost like you weren't even making that much more than you were before you got the raise. So changes definitely need to be made. Some changes definitely need to be made. 100%.